Okay, it's 9 o'clock, so I'm going to get started. And I'm sure more people will be joining us, but this is being recorded as well. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's TLS Weight Loss Overview. My name is Tina Rose. I am a women's healthcare nurse practitioner, and I own my own health center, Just Us Women Health Center, here in Attleboro, Massachusetts. I'm excited tonight to give you this overview of TLS right before Christmas and the holidays, because I know come the new year, everybody's really going to be focusing on how we can shed some of those holiday pounds. But this is going to be more of an overview of TLS in general, okay? So TLS, as you can see from the bottom, here is solutions. So, so why weight loss? And well, it's the topic of the decade, of the century actually. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention tell us that more than half the people in the United States are overweight or obese. And in my practice, I can certainly see that. And all we have to do is look around us everywhere. We're seeing that. Many people who are overweight may have many illnesses, diseases such as stroke, diabetes, certain cancers, heart disease, are all contributed to by being overweight. Our risk increases. Childhood obesity is at an all-time high, and often children are overweight when one or both of their parents are overweight. So, what goes wrong with weight loss? What doesn't go wrong with weight loss, right? Well, we know that diets don't work, and there's hundreds of diets out there. There's a new fad diet coming out. There's the Atkins diet, the keto diet, the paleo diet, but Weight Watchers diet, low carb, high fat, but diets just don't work. And I know many of my patients will tell me, oh, Weight Watchers worked for me, or Atkins worked for me. I said, oh, really? You know, and they'll say that they've lost 70 pounds. And I said, great, that's, you know, and what happened? Did you stop doing it? Well, I gained it all back and I went off the diet. And I said, well, then that goes to show you it really didn't work. A lot of times diets are going to be focusing just on losing water, and even muscle mass can be lost, not the true fat loss, which is going to be sustainable. If a diet isn't sustainable, then it's not working. So that's where we get the yo-yo, and everybody has gone from, you know, losing the fat, gaining weight, losing the fat, and that's just going to really wreak havoc with their metabolism. Because we know that all calories are not created equal. We have nutrient-dense calories and we have nutrient-empty calories. Oh, I went too fast. Oh, there we go. Calorie depletion, we know, can cause many health effects, deleterious effects on the health, neurological changes. We know that hormones can change. In women's health, I see it all the time, where people don't have enough body mass or enough muscle mass, and that's going to affect their entire cycles and metabolic changes. I know Tom Hanks became diabetic because he lost weight too quickly for his roles and then gained weight too quickly for his roles. His poor body didn't know if it was coming or going. So oftentimes diet programs are really focused on what to eat. They tell people, eat this, don't eat that. Eat this and don't eat that. They don't teach people how to eat the right way to really balance what they're eating, the overall effect of what they're eating. And they focus way too much on the scale and the pounds and not actually losing the true fat. I myself really dislike the whole BMI, body mass index, because that really only is a chart of your height and your weight. And if you're over 25 for BMI, you're overweight. If you're over 30, you're obese. And we all know that we have some bodybuilders. We could have a 5'4" bodybuilder that was considered obese by a BMI, where we might have another 5' person that's not considered obese, but yet has more body fat. So we really have to look at the whole person and focus on fat loss. Most of the diet programs out there are not going to focus on metabolism and hormones that can affect our metabolism. And we're not just talking, you know, estrogens, testosterones. We're talking insulin levels, cortisol levels, adrenaline, thyroid hormones, and all of these hormones really need to work together. So diet programs don't offer multiple programs for different individuals, because we know that one size does not fit all, and that some people are going to lose weight differently and need different, everybody has a different commitment level, but some people need to focus more on their physical activity. Other people need to focus more on the type of nutrients they're bringing in and their overall metabolism. And other programs also don't have trained coaches, nutritionally trained coaches, coaches that have been trained on what works and the different programs that are there to support the individual throughout the entire program. So then we have to look at the whys and the whats to weight loss. So we have to look at the individual. Why is it that you want to lose weight? What is your commitment level? And what are you hoping to gain? You know, is it just that you want to look better? You want to fit into clothes better? You want to look good in a bathing suit? Most people really know that we want to lose the weight so that we can get healthy and therefore live longer, healthier lives. You know, we don't want to live longer if we're going to be ill. We want to reduce the risk of disease going forward. If we want to have children, we know that fertility can be really affected by weight. And if we already have children, we won't have the energy to play with them. And of course, we definitely want to look fabulous, and we don't want to look older than we are. So now we get to the what of the weight loss. What are your obstacles? What are your desires? And what are the obstacles you're facing? And most of us, we're going to overlap with many of these obstacles. We've got lack of exercise. That's my biggest obstacle. Maybe your family eats unhealthy. You work long hours and have long days, and therefore there's no time for food prep or cooking time, or there's too many snacks at work and parties and functions. All of these can contribute to the obstacles that we face in trying to lose weight. So what if there was a program that was comprehensive, yet customizable, that's backed by science and focused on a lifestyle approach and had proven success in improving your health and look? And that, my friends, is what TLS is. So as I said, TLS Weight Loss Solution, the TLS stands for Transition Lifestyle System. Because let's face it, we didn't get into an unhealthy habit overnight. We didn't become overweight or obese overnight. It was a process. It took a while to get there. And the same thing with getting the weight off and getting healthy. It's a process, and it's going to be a transition into a healthier lifestyle that's going to be long lasting. So TLS is the most comprehensive and customizable program out there. It's a true lifestyle program, and that's why it works, because if it's not sustainable, then it's not going to work. It focuses on the fat loss and keeping that fat off. Again, it is not a diet, because diets don't work. I'm going to go back to this for a minute. Diets don't work because what are the first three letters in diet? Die. So I like to tell my clients that I'm going to teach them a live it. It's a system that you can actually live longer with. So, and diets also imply that if you eat something you're not supposed to, well, you just cheated. Diet has that, you know, if you're on a diet, there's the possibility of cheating. And once you cheat, that's a negative connotation, and you feel like, well, I already cheated. I went off. Oh, might as well just keep going, and I'll start over again when I'm ready. I like to think of it as a reward system. If we're not, if we go off track a little bit, well, you know what? If you did really well for 2-3 weeks and you had a little something to keep you going, that's a reward that you earned. And then I like to think, you know what? I want to earn another reward, so I'm going to keep going with this system. So what are the 4 components? There are 4 components to the TLS Weight Loss Solution. I'm going to go into them in depth as we move along this evening. The 4 components are, number 1, low glycemic impact eating. Number 2 is improving our body composition, focusing on losing the fat, building the muscle, thereby speeding up the metabolism and supporting the metabolic functions. 3 is science, evidence-based, scientifically studied supplementation to help us reach our goals and see results, and also to help support our healthy functions. And number 4, of course, is my favorite as a nurse practitioner, and that is education. Because let's face it, you're all out there bombarded You can't turn the TV on, turn the radio on, open up a magazine without seeing some new great magic diet program. But weight loss isn't magic, it's science. And these 4 components are what's leading the way. And so we'll go into them a little bit individually. Low glycemic impact eating. This to me is the hallmark of TLS, is really teaching people, and that's the education part, how to eat, not just what to eat. So eating a low glycemic impact in a low glycemic impact way has many health benefits, including promoting cardiovascular health, maintaining stable blood sugar levels, thereby assisting the body to burn the fat, which will then in turn improve our energy. And low GI foods are naturally anti-inflammatory because inflammation is the root of all illness. And by eating low GI foods, we're going to be naturally decreasing the inflammation that can be leading towards to hormonal imbalances. So what exactly is low glycemic impact eating? Now, many people have heard of the low glycemic index. I'm going to go back here for just a minute. The low glycemic index is just a number that's associated with foods. A low glycemic index means it's not going to raise the blood sugar very quickly or raise the blood sugar in your body too much. A high glycemic index food is going to raise the blood sugar more quickly. So many diet programs out there are going to focus on only eating low glycemic foods, but that's not conducive to living either. We've got to really balance out what we're eating, and we really don't want to restrict any food groups at all. So when we look at low glycemic impact eating, we're looking at the impact of everything we're eating and its effect on our blood sugar. So it takes into account quality of the food, not just quantity. So this is my favorite graph, and I have this graph framed in my office when I'm talking to patients and teaching them lifestyle eating and weight loss. And this is a graph of your blood sugar. And in the red zone, whether your blood sugar is too low at number 5 or too high at number 4, your body is in fat storage mode. You're storing fats and it saps your energy, the no energy zone. Whereas if your blood sugar is in the blue zone, 1, 2, 3, 6, or 7, your blood sugar is more in the steady middle zone, which is your fat burning zone. It's the ideal zone to be burning fat, which is also conducive to having higher energy and feeling better. So I teach my clients and my patients in my office that when you wake up in the morning, you haven't eaten usually for 8, 10, 12 hours. So you're usually down here at number 5 in the low blood sugar zone. So you wake up in the morning in fat storage mode with not much energy. And that's why, my friends, why breakfast is the most important meal of the day. We must eat breakfast because we've got to get ourselves out of that fat storage zone, excuse me. So what happens if you don't eat breakfast and you're up for 5 hours before you eat anything? That means you're storing fat that entire time until you put something in your mouth. Let's say you get up, and 2 or 3 hours later you have on your way to work a muffin and a coffee with cream and sugar. Now you've just spiked your blood sugar and you went from fat burning zone, fat storage zone, back up to fat storage zone, no energy. And when you're up here at number 4 with high blood sugar, what's your body going to do? If your body's healthy and working properly, it's going to pump out more insulin, and that's going to burn off, that's going to cause your blood sugar to come plummeting back down to number 5. Hey, guess what? You're back into fat storage zone. So most of us over the years have learned to bounce between 4 and 5 all day long. Fat storage, no energy leads to more fat storage, leads to no exercise, and it becomes a vicious cycle. So what we're going to try and do is teach people how to eat in a way that's going to get them out of number 5 and up to number 3, because that's in the blue zone, and now you're in fat burning zone. So let's say you get up in the morning and you had a nice veggie omelet and a nice big glass of water with all your vitamins too. You're going to go up to number 3, and now you're in fat burning zone. And the nice thing about being in number 3 is that you're not going to pump out all that insulin, so you're not going to come crashing down, but you're going to gradually use that sugar over the next few hours to get you the blood sugar to get you down to number 6. But hey, you're still in fat burning zone, good energy. This is where you have to have a snack now. so that you can go back up to number 3. Let's think about it. If we can bounce between 3 and 6 all day by eating every 3 to 4 hours, we're going to prevent that sapping of the energy and prevent us from getting into the fat storage zone. So how do we stay in the blue zone? Fiber and protein at every meal makes losing fat no big deal. So that's what we want to do, stay in that zone. We don't want to restrict food groups. And this is what I always like to say. People will like to think that if we're telling them to eat low glycemic impact, they think, oh, okay, so I'm supposed to have low carbs, but I already do have low carbs. I don't need any carbs. Well, we don't want to restrict any food group, and carbohydrates are a necessary food group, as are proteins and fats. And so we don't want to restrict them. And just like calories aren't created equal, okay, listening to something, I apologize. Just like calories aren't created equal, neither are carbohydrates. We have nutrient-dense carbohydrates, and then we have empty carbohydrates that aren't giving us any nutritional value. So we really want to try and choose quality proteins, and of course, quality fats. Fats over the years have gotten a bad name, and everybody thought that fats are what led to heart disease and led us to become obese, when it's really going to be more of the sugars. So we've got to really try and balance. And with the TLS program, you'll never see a restriction of these major food groups that are necessary. Okay, so therefore you don't have to starve yourself or give up flavor to succeed. Now we're going to move on to the second component to TLS, body composition. Body composition is exactly that. We're going to focus on the fat that we have in our body as well as the muscle. And we want to transition from fat storing lifestyle to a fat burning lifestyle. And we're going to focus on the fat loss. And I tell my patients all the time, get off the scale. We don't care about the pounds. We want to focus on the percentages, the percentage of fat versus the percentage of muscle. And if we can see the fat percentages coming down and the muscle percentages going up, you're going to see inches going down. So that's what we really want to focus on, is the inches. You can see, you know, and if somebody has much more muscle than fat, they might weigh more, because a pound of fat weighs the same amount as a pound of muscle, but a pound of fat might be this big, where a pound of muscle is only this big. Okay, that's the skinny fat. And that's what leads to a healthy metabolism, as you can see here, when we have more muscle and less fat. So body composition does take into consideration that evil E word, exercise. Now, I'm known as the queen of excuses. All my life, I've had excuses, and I did coin that term, but you can feel free to borrow it. But we know how important that is. So I tend not to call it exercise, because many people, particularly in my generation or the younger generation, think if you're not going to the gym, you're not exercising. There are many ways for us to move our mass. We've got to, I think of it as physical activity. How can we incorporate physical activity, additional physical activity? And fitness really does mean fit it in. And how can we fit it into our everyday lifestyle? And that's what I'm going to teach a lot of my clients. And what I had to teach myself is, how can I increase my physical activity? I have so many clients that I'll say, you know, do you exercise, or are you physical? Well, I have a gym membership. And I think to myself, I never asked you if you went to the gym or if you had a gym membership. I asked if you move your mass. And we really must focus on that in order to take us from a high body fat percentage to a low, so that we can start changing our shape. And people will often say that they're discouraged because the scale hasn't moved. But I say, how do your jeans fit? Let's take out that tape measure. And I encourage people to do that. Take the tape measure and keep track of it, because that's where you're going to notice the difference. And there's, of course, many different types of exercise, and we have to choose the right exercise for our body composition. I even, as a clinician, I work with genetics, and I will have some genetic information to help my patients know what type of exercise might work best for them. And of course, we have to make it fun for them. How can we come up with a way to increase our physical activity? There's cardiovascular exercise, weight resistance, stretching, flexibility. And so what I will do, and I tell my patients this, what I've done is found a way to increase my physical activity. If I'm doing housework, I always have ankle weights, 5-pound ankle weights on my ankles. I might be holding my laundry basket and do lifts with it. I teach people to park at the back of the grocery store, do an extra loop around the outside of the grocery store, because that's where all the healthy foods are anyway. Some days where I feel like I've just been too sedentary, I have stairs in my house. If you have stairs in your house, utilize them. I will just, before dinner, just go up and down my stairs 10 times to get my blood flowing. So it doesn't have to be, an hour or 2 hours. And in fact, high intensity interval training is one of the best forms of fat burning exercise, because it's fast and it's high intensity, and then 30 seconds break. So most gyms are going to have some form of that as well. So why TLS supplementation? This takes us to number 3, the third component of TLS. Well, we have poor dietary habits, especially here in the United States. The standard American diet really is sad. We have unhealthy eating habits, the yo-yo dieting, skipping meals, such as breakfast. And therefore, our hormones are not balanced. And we're not just talking about it, like I said, our estrogens. We have to take into consideration our thyroid hormones, our adrenal hormones, cortisol, leptin and ghrelin. And those are 2 hormones I'm going to get into a little bit more as I talk about supplements. Carbohydrate sensitivity. Some of us are more sensitive than others. Some can get very digestive, have a lot of digestive issues with too many carbohydrates, and others can't imagine a day without grains, right? What's unique to TLS is that we really take into consideration stress and sleep. And when we talk about weight loss, chronic stress can lead to increased cortisol levels. And cortisol is our stress response hormone, and it tells our body to store fat because famine is coming or something. So we're going to need that energy for later, that fat. And chronic stress is going to lead us to store visceral fat, which is the fat in our belly around all our organs. And I say it's the fat that, the surgeon would have to cut through to get to the organ. We want to support our metabolism with daily nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that are necessary that we're not getting from our foods today. Studies have shown that vegetables today have 20 to 40, maybe even 50% less vitamins and nutrients and minerals than it did a mere 40 years ago, because of monoculturing, acid rain, and the foods are picked before they're ripe, so they don't have a chance to get all their nutrients from the soils even. And then, of course, we want to really promote fat burning with thermogenesis and lipolysis. So that's what we have: supplements, science-based supplements. So there are many supplements in the TLS line, and it doesn't necessarily mean everybody has to be on every supplement. Remember, this is a customizable program. So we're going to customize it, and I will work with my patients to find out where can they get the most benefit, which supplements are going to work best with their body, what is their commitment level, and how much do they have to lose, how much fat do they have to lose. My favorite supplement, which I will talk more in detail about, is the Core supplement. It is a fat and carb inhibitor. And notice here, it is not a fat blocker, fat or carb blocker, because we need fats and carbs, but it's going to take more of what you need and less of what you don't. I think of the Core tablets as just an overall health product, and I will go into that a little bit more as I go into each of these individually. Then we have the Axe, one of my favorite personal supplements. I'm not in weight loss mode anymore. I'm in continued commitment. I'm living the lifestyle, but I love my adrenal, cortisol, thyroid, and stress support formula. It is an adaptogen, and it helps support our adrenals, cortisols, our thyroid levels, and our stress levels, which are all very important in weight loss. We have a Tonalin CLA, which is a brand of conjugated linoleic acid, which will help burn stubborn belly fat or thigh fat, in conjunction with that E word, of course. And then we have green coffee plus Garcinia Cambogia, which has been well studied to help promote fat burning, as thermochrome, which with Advantra-Z, which is a caffeinated product that really promotes thermogenesis. Our newest in our line is the Trim Tea and its cousin, Trim Cafe, which has well-trim IG, which is an African mango seed extract. I will talk a little bit more about that. The science behind that is phenomenal for weight loss. And then we have our shakes. We have 3 different types of shakes. We have a nutrition shake, which is very high in fiber, plant-based shake, and a whey protein shake for muscle recovery. So TLS Core Fat and Carb Inhibitor, as I said, my favorite supplement. I am reluctant to teach weight loss with any of my patients or clients without this product. It is that good. It is caffeine free. It assists in weight loss. And it helps inhibit the absorption of the carbohydrates, which may then store as fat. It may help to manage hunger and can help you maintain that normal blood sugar level so that you can stay in that fat burning zone. And it supports leptin sensitivity. Leptin sensitivity, leptin is the hormone with ghrelin. They're opposite hormones. Leptin is made in your fat cells, and it's the hormone that tells your body you're full, stop eating. So the more fat we have, the more leptin we make. So you think we get more signals to say, hey, stop eating. But it's almost the opposite, because our body, we make so much leptin that our body stops listening to it and we become leptin insensitive. So what the Core tablets does is it's got a very significant, almost a 50% reduction in serum leptin levels, so that your body can start listening to the leptin and say you're full. It does promote a feeling of fullness. And that is why I think this is one of my top products for active weight loss. It actually has other benefits also. Scientific studies have shown that it actually lowers cholesterol and can raise the good cholesterol levels. It lowers C-reactive protein, which is the inflammation in the blood vessels, and it can also raise serum serotonin levels, which is our happiness, our comfort hormone, serotonin. So this, as I said, was my personal favorite supplement that I continue to use even though I'm not in weight loss mode, the TLS Adrenal Cortisol Thyroid Stress Support Formula, or ACTS. It is an adaptogen, so it helps adapt the levels. It impacts our hormones that are affected by stress, such as cortisol and adrenal hormones, as well as the thyroid hormones. It's got some iodine in it that helps help us best utilize our thyroid hormone and adapt to what level it's at. It improves mental clarity, certainly can help to minimize certain stress-related issues. It is taken 2 capsules a day, can be taken 2 together. I personally will spread them out. I'll take 1 at lunch. I take 1 usually with dinner time, because it does help prevent that cortisol. It balances that cortisol level. So I actually use it for my patients to help with some sleep issues, depending on if their sleep issue may be cortisol related. Difficulty with sleep patterns, there we go, weight gain. So that's the ACTS. We have the tonillin conjugated linoleic acid. It, like I said, helps to reduce overall body fat and promote lean muscle mass. It targets that stubborn belly fat. It works best, as I said, with the exercise. So, and it can take time. So people might not see the results in the first 30 days, but then it will kick in. I try to really stress the exercise component, because if we really want to target that stubborn belly fat, we've really got to get into that exercise habit, so that when we break down the fat, the tonillin will break down that fat. So we want to now burn it off with that exercise. And that too is caffeine free. The green coffee plus Garcinia Cambogia. We at TLS, they like to combine the ingredients to get the maximum benefit. And so Garcinia Cambogia with green coffee really works well synergistically. They help each other. It is, again, decaffeinated, even though it says green coffee in the label. The green coffee is actually not caffeinated yet. Helps facilitate stored fat so that we can use that as energy, which thereby will promote a more healthy weight loss. We're not getting into that starvation or caloric restriction. It does promote a reduction in BMI because it's going to reduce the weight. Now, this is the caffeinated product, Thermochrome with Advantra Z. This one is a thermogenesis. It really promotes fat burning, thermogenesis, and breakdown of the fat, promotes lipolysis as well as thermogenesis, which can help suppress the appetite and give you much more energy. If you are caffeine sensitive, this product is not recommended for you, and that would be me. TLS Trim Tea, like I said, the newest member of our family. It helps promote weight loss. And this is the same for Trim Cafe. Trim Tea and Trim Cafe have the same active ingredient, which is a natural African mango seed extract. And with Trim Tea, it's combined with black tea. And with Trim Cafe, it's combined with Colombian Arabica coffee powder. So it will promote the studies in a 10-week double-blind placebo-controlled study of the African mango seed extract, the branded African mango seed extract called Well-Trim IG, was shown to promote weight loss by maintaining normal blood sugar levels. It actually supports cardiovascular health by lowering cholesterol, elevating the HDL, the good cholesterol, while decreasing the bad cholesterol. This is something I use regularly, even though, like I said, I'm not trying to lose weight, but I happen to have a high cholesterol, high LDLs, and it's worked great to help me lower my LDLs, even though I don't have any cardiovascular risk factors. I still want to maintain my cholesterol levels without doing any medications, prescription medications. It helps curb the appetite by, again, helping with the leptin levels. So you have a feeling of fullness, and it really lowers our adiponectin levels. It's another hormone that lower adiponectin levels leads to increased fat burning. So some people are going to lose a little bit each week with one tea or one cafe a day. And other people may take longer. They have to get into their system before they start really seeing the pounds start sloughing off. Oh, what did I just do there? That was my little mouse. There we go. It definitely supports metabolic balance and wellness. Trim Tea. So I encourage anybody on this, listening to this, whether it be the recording or here with us live, to definitely talk to the person who invited you to this program or sent it to you and find out more about any of this. Okay, we have several different shake options, and I like to think of our shakes as supplements. That's what they are. They're not taking the place of eating real food. This is not a shake program, so the shakes are going to be snack replacements. If anything, they're not going to take the place of real meals. We have a plant-based shake that's pea protein and rice protein. Has 11 grams of protein and 4.5 grams of fiber in addition to the vitamins and minerals. The nutrition shake can be a meal replacement if necessary. I will tell people, if your choices are skipping a meal or driving through to a drive-through, I would recommend doing a shake, and then I would say at snack time, try and eat some real food. But it has 19 grams of whey protein, 10 grams of fiber, and all the vitamins and minerals, only 2 grams of sugar. And I like to say, and it doesn't taste like cardboard. So delicious shakes, chocolate and vanilla. We also have the chocolate and vanilla whey protein shakes. Now these are more of the muscle recovery post-exercise or even to really promote muscle growth. It's got the 21 grams of whey protein and an additional branched chain amino acids, 4.5 grams of branched chain amino acids. It doesn't have the fiber, so this would not be a meal replacement, but it's not going to make you sit in your stomach and feel full either without the fiber. So that's why it wouldn't be a meal replacement. And now we come to my favorite part of TLS, the education, where we teach you not just what to eat, but how to eat, where other programs just tell you eat this and don't eat that. Again, I reiterate, we don't restrict any of the food groups. We need some carbs, we need the good healthy fats, and we need the good lean proteins and the healthier proteins. Teaches you how to eat for life, but realizes that what's right for you might not be always right for somebody else, or it might not always be right for you, and that we've got to be able to have a program that's going to be sustainable for our life. And, for me, there are certain things that I know I'm not going to give up for life. I might give them up temporarily till I reach my goal, and then I'm going to bring them in gradually. I'm not going to overdo it, though. So it teaches you how to build your body the right way. So there's 12 weeks of education in the TLS journal. It's a phenomenal journal that's not just journaling what you're eating, but it's education too. And there are 12 chapters, and I love showing people the chapters in the journal. And I tell people to read one chapter each week. Each chapter has about 3 pages of education, and then the journaling comes in. The topics are going to be setting goals, detoxifying and getting ready to have a healthier lifestyle, goes a chapter on how to eat the low glycemic impact way, reading labels, planning and dining out. Part of living is, you know, being able to go on vacation and being able to dine out and make healthier choices. Doesn't mean that they're always going to be, you know, only healthy choices, but, you know, healthier options. Nutrition, basics, fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, and creating healthy habits. I love the chapter on overcoming obstacles, because let's face it, we're all going to have obstacles daily, weekly, monthly, annually. You know, this time of year, everybody says, oh, you know, I'm just so stressed. The holidays are here. And I said, you know what? I've got news for you. They're going to come again next year. So there's no better time than to learn how to overcome these obstacles, because they're going to come again. Every year, we're going to have the holidays. How do we manage the stress? We cannot eliminate stress in our lives. We live in the United States. We're working. We have families. There's environmental stress, there's toxins, there's going to be stress in our lives. How are we going to manage that stress? With healthy choices for eating, for exercising, meditation, yoga, all of that. And everybody's going to have their own way of managing the stress. How do we assess the results so that we can live the lifestyle? And there's a chapter on supplements. My favorite part of the journal also is that there's 2 pages of journaling. I like to say the left-hand page is all the physical journaling. What did you eat? How did you sleep? What exercise did you do? And what supplements did you take? And how much water did you drink? That's all physical stuff that you're doing. The right side of the journal is what I call the mental journaling. How are you feeling about yourself today? What are your goals for tomorrow? What obstacles have you faced today? And how do you plan to overcome them when they happen again? Not if they happen again, but when. And you know, one thing I did for myself today was, because we've really got to take care of our mental as well as our physical. So that's all part of the education, learning how to do that. The TLS website, TLS Slim, is jam-packed with videos that are going to educate you. And there's a video for each chapter in the journal as well. There's recipes, there's all kinds of program downloads on different meal plans and supplements, the supplements and what's in them and how to use them and what they will do, which there's educational information on whether you might be gluten sensitive and what gluten is doing to us, how to build your self-confidence, how to plan for meals and do your grocery shopping, what sweeteners are good and what sweeteners are artificial, and how do hormones and stress affect us. How important is sleep? When I teach weight loss, I say we've got to manage the stress and sleep first. If you're not sleeping, weight loss attempts are going to be futile. We're just not going to get your goal. So how can we fix your sleep so that we can start reaching your goals? Alcohol, you know, I'm Portuguese and I'm not going to give up my red wine. So how can I incorporate that? I certainly did for my initial program for 21 days. And we can do that. And I like to do a detox, you know, once or twice a year. And when I do that, I'm giving up the alcohol, and I pick my times, you know, so I'm not going to do a detox during the holidays, because certainly not going to give up my red wine. So, but I like to say I'm getting my resveratrol that way. So, TLS program. So we do have many different programs. We have, and again, it's all customizable depending on your commitment level, who your coach is, and what, you know, whether you're working with a health professional such as myself. So I do a TLS Select program because I might throw in some extra blood work. I may work with a health coach that's going to actually help implement the program that I'm recommending. So the most common programs, and in my practice, I use a 12-week program, an 8-week program, and a 4-week program. Most of the programs that I will use are all going to include a 7-day detox. I do customize it depending on certain health issues that I may have to modify it a little bit. But I love the 7-day detox. I'm going to go into that. That is part of the 21-day challenge. And that's a program. When I do a 21-day challenge, I actually make it part of my 4-week program because there's actually enough materials in there for 4 weeks. And then I have a full comprehensive program that's 12 weeks that I do use a health coach with, and I also do genetic testing in order, as well as blood testing, so that I can compare results and show people the the actual improvement in their health, not just their inches. So the 7-day detox. This is a kickstart. Like I said, I like to try and do it twice a year if possible. And the results can vary for each individual. I think the first time I did it, I thought it was much more difficult. But each time you do it, it's really not that bad. It depends on how many toxins you have, because it is a way of cleansing out. It's a cleanse, and it's going to release all the toxins that have been stored. If you have a lot of toxins, you're going to feel the effects a little bit more with, significantly decreased energy, but it will be followed by a surge of energy by the third or fourth day. What you'll be doing is you'll be following a strict low glycemic plan with 8 to 12 cups of vegetables, 3 fruits per day, 2 3-ounce smaller servings of protein per day, 2 servings of good fats or oils such as olive oil or avocado. There will be no grains, no dairy, no starches, no alcohol or junk food. It says 8+ cups of water. I tell my clients a minimum of 10 cups, 80 ounces of water a day. A lot of times, because you're detoxifying, you may have a detoxification headache. I say it's because you're somewhat dehydrated. You need to really get that water in there. And then, of course, my favorite part of detox is there's no strenuous exercise. So I can actually use my excuse. We do encourage some gentle stretching, maybe some light yoga, walking is all good, but you're just not getting enough protein to handle strenuous exercise. You will be taking an antioxidant as well as a multivitamin, and these are both isotonic, so they're absorbed into your bloodstream, same pressure as your body fluids, more bioavailable, and not necessarily interfering with the digestive system, therefore. This is a cleanse kit, the NutriClean 7-Day Cleanse Kit, which has a liver detoxification tablets as well as high fiber, a soluble fiber, which acts as a prebiotic to really support the gut health. So that's a phenomenal 7-day. This is the cleanse, and while we're detoxing on the unhealthy foods, and the core tablets are part of it. So this 7-day cleanse, my husband actually says it's a very gentle cleanse. So, yes, you will be eliminating more because you got to get rid of those toxins, but you're not going to be running to the bathroom. Got to get there quick. So, and the 21-day challenge, by the way, starts with that 7-day detox, and then it moves into very similar to the fat shredder program, and this is for extremely committed individuals. It's a short-term program. If you want to reach your weight loss goals, it's probably 2 weeks, but you can continue modifying the fat shredder program as well. High-intensity 2-week weight loss regimen. It is like I said, the second 2 weeks of it's phase 2 of the 21-day challenge. There's a focused food guide. There'll be a lot of exercise. We definitely want to really bump up the exercise for this one. Adding more supplements that are customized for you, and shredding the fat. You can lose up to 10 pounds during the 2-week fat shredder program, and again, it's still following the strict meal plan, but you're going to add a lot more protein this time, still a lot of vegetables. You're going to be doing 2 nutrition shakes, or this one says 1 whey protein shake and 2 nutrition shakes. That seems like a lot. I say you can do 1 whey protein, 1 nutrition shake, or 2 of each, in addition to 3 to 4 servings with meals and snacks, 2 servings of good healthy fat, and only 1 serving of fruit now. Because let's face it, fruit is sugar. It's a nutrient-dense sugar, but it's still going to add sugar. So we're going to go down to 1 fruit with all this protein, and we're going to add the supplements too. Still no dairy, and no grains, and no starches. Oh, rapid results. That's where I saw yeah. So then rapid results is very similar to the fat shredder, only it does allow 2 servings of dairy if you can tolerate dairy. Dairy is pro-inflammatory, so we do need to be careful with dairy. Some people certainly can tolerate it. I cannot. And it can promote inflammation. So I tend to, depending on the individual, if you're having any emotional symptoms, stress symptoms, anxiety, I tend to move away from the dairy, any GI symptoms at all. So, but the rapid results is very similar to fat shredder, except that it does allow the 2 servings of dairy per day, lose 2 to 3 pounds per week, still a low glycemic menu plan with no grains and no starches still. And again, you need to be motivated for this one. Exercise 4 to 5 times a week and supplement as directed. Each of these plans, by the way, will come with a sample menu plan. This is just an example of what you eat. On the opposite side of this sheet here that you could ask the person who invited you with is a list of the power foods for proteins, fruits, vegetables, and such. Sure and Steady. Now, this is the plan where I originally lost my weight. I lost 22 pounds in the 12-week programs of Sure and Steady. I did start with the 7-day detox, and it's exactly what it says, Sure and Steady. It's for people who really, want to learn the lifestyle and aren't in a big hurry to lose all their weight. They don't have a big wedding in 2 months or something. And throughout the journey, you'll see that even small changes in your diet are going to support are going to help you feel better, more energy, and just get healthier. Average 1 to 2 pounds a week. Very similar. The difference between this now and the rapid results is now we're going to add 1 serving of a starch per day. So that could be a starchy vegetable like a sweet potato or a butternut squash, or some of the lentils that are really nice, high in protein as well. So you can do 1 serving of starch as well as 1 serving of whole grain. And you really want to look at the healthier grains, particularly if you have any gluten sensitivities. You don't want to go to the wheat grains. You're going to want to go do the whole oats. So now we can do the steel cut oatmeal. We can look at the quinoa, couscous. So this is going to allow you 1 serving of grain per day. You're not going to go crazy with the bread and the pancakes and the muffins, but you can at least get that 1 grain per day. And you'll be doing supplements and still exercising at least 3 times a week. More is better, of course. And then continued commitment. This is for those of us, once we've reached our goal weight, we need to continue living that lifestyle. And continued commitment does have a menu plan, or it's basically the 80-20 plan. 80% of the time, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're doing Sure and Steady or rapid results. And 20% of the time, you're enjoying life and living life to the fullest. So I like to mix a lot of these now that I've kind of reached my goal. I really have adapted to the lifestyle. So I might do rapid results one day, Sure and Steady another day, continued commitment. There's very few days I think that I will actually have 2 servings of grain. I might have 1 serving of grain and 1 serving of starch in a day, but 3 servings of fruit are okay. I don't always have 3 servings of fruit. Sometimes I might have 2 servings in my shake. I still love the shakes as snack replacements, and it's just a way of learning how to eat. So that's continued commitment. I like to say it's just 80-20, and it's learning to live the lifestyle, because that's really what it is, a lifestyle. There is a Trim Tea menu plan for people who just want the Trim Tea, because the study done with Trim Tea, the Well Trim IG actually, was without any change in diet. People were losing the weight, they were burning the fat. So, but we want to really maximize our efforts. And so there is a Trim Tea menu plan that's just really increasing the protein and the fiber, because what did I say? Fiber and protein at every meal is going to make losing fat no big deal. It does allow you that 1 serving of dairy, if you can tolerate it. We do want to try to avoid the grains. Again, most days, if you're going to try to maximize your results. And of course, the E word. We mustn't forget that. 21-day challenge. Almost all my programs start with a 21-day challenge and then move forward. And this is just an all-inclusive kit that has set instructions on what you'll be eating, and it includes the shakes, the antioxidant, the multivitamin, the core tablets. Again, I won't teach weight loss without the core tablets for the most part. And the 7-day NutriClean Detox Cleanse kit comes in that. So it's a complete kit for people who want to jumpstart their system, who might have a event coming up. I know coming the new year, resolutions. I've got a lot of people coming in and ready to start the 21-day challenge, because we're done with the holidays. It's a new year, new you. We're going to really commit to just jump-starting with the 21-day challenge and losing anything we may have gained. Again, there's the 2 phases to the 21-day challenge. We already talked about the detox cleanse phase. That's going to renew and replenish you. And then phase 2 is that fat shredder, fat burning phase to repair and reshape. Most people are going to lose in the 21-day challenge minimum of 10 pounds. I see, 15 average. I'm finding in my patient population. So winding down now. TLS is the right program. It is backed by science. Again, it's not magic, it's science. And it's customizable, so we can find something that's going to work for you. It is comprehensive. It includes everything. We're talking about how are you sleeping? How can we reduce your stress? How can we manage your stress better? And focusing on fat loss, which is going to convert into inches lost. We're going to get off that scale. Too many times that scale is just serving to discourage us. Oh, I didn't lose anything. Especially people who get on there every day and expect that their weight is going to not fluctuate from day to day. There's water weight, there's dehydration, there's summertime, there's clothes weight, there's everything. So get off the scale and focus on how your genes fit. Again, TLS is going to teach you how to eat, not just what to eat, because it is a lifestyle. We need to live the lifestyle of TLS, and therefore we can live longer, because remember, it's a live it, and we're going to live longer, healthier lives. So, are you ready to feel and look great, to lose the weight, and more importantly, the body fat and the inches, to have more energy, and of course, improve your health? I encourage anybody who's listening to this to really talk to the person who invited you or sent you the recording of this, and ask your questions, get your questions answered, and ask how you can take the weight loss profile, which is on the TLS Slim website. They can direct you to it and enroll into one of the programs that are offered. You'll get the coaching, you'll get the support, you've got the education, and you get the support that you're ready for. Some people want a lot of support. Some people want to, say, I've got this, I can take care of it and do it myself. Select the products that are right for you and get started today. Maybe not today. You might want to wait till the new year. But actually, I have several clients that are actually in the midst of they're in the second week of their 21-day challenge this week. So take the weight loss solution. That's the TLS weight loss solution overview. And I believe let's see if I can open this up. Okay, no, there we go. Okay, so I'm not sure how many people were on, but we are going to have this recorded. So I thank you for being with us this evening during this busy time of year. And I wish everybody a happy holiday, a safe and healthy and prosperous new year. Thank you and good night.